My mother and I and my father and the kids were all living together in a two-bedroom apartment, and I made some decisions that my mom didn't think were right. We got in a fight, and she decided that she wasn't going to do my daycare for me anymore. She was the reason I was able to go to work. So when she quit doing my daycare and we had struggles there, I lost my job. And it's not a lot of money when you're on unemployment. It probably would have been about enough to pay everything, but I started getting harassing phone calls from other bills and stuff, and I didn't know what to do, you know. And I made another dumb decision and ended up not paying my rent and paying the other bills, and I ended up homeless. And at the same time, my parents, because they were mad at me about this other thing, and now mad because I'm with children and I'm homeless, completely abandoned me. My life just sort of turned upside down. My family that had always been there was now not. I stayed with a friend. The kids and I spent, because it was December, so the beginning of December until a couple days after Christmas, because she wanted the kids to have a good Christmas and not be in the shelter for Christmas. I was just feeling so hopeless, and I kept thinking the only way I'm going to get out of here is if I get Simpson. And so I had to call every single week, and there was a few weeks where the lottery wasn't open, and that was sort of distressing. Jeannie called me, and basically she didn't say you got in or whatever. She said, I'm calling from Simpson Housing and I just have some more questions. And when I was talking to her, I started to realize you actually got it, you're in, you know, and that was really exciting for me. And I saved that message on my voicemail for a long time. I had to come in and meet with Jeannie, and she did the intake where she just asked questions about where you are in your life, what's going on, and all of that. And then she set me up with my advocate, who I just adore. She's great. I think there's a lot of great people at Simpson Housing. I'm so happy with this organization. I'm glad that it exists. My focus has been getting our family strengthened and getting the kids' needs taken care of, their emotional and educational needs. And I'm spending probably 4 to 5 days a week doing something specific to improving my family. My advocate is really motivating me to keep going on the things that I need to be doing, because sometimes I get kind of off track. So, and she's right there asking me questions, making sure I've done these things I need to do. And the strongest goals are basically finding permanent housing, because I mean, I could stay where I'm at, but I have to be able to afford it once I no longer have Simpson. So the goals were to keep looking for like subsidized housing and that type of stuff. Also, one of my greater goals is quite a ways down the road, but is to own my own business. So one of my personal goals is to go back to college. I can never say enough how grateful I really am for Simpson Housing. It's not just the advocate coming to my house or the fact that Simpson pays so much of my rent, but the SOAR, Project SOAR, where we get together and we learn either, you know, parenting stuff or whatever, and some of the other things that they've provided. Like when they did the back to school thing and Angel got her backpack, she was so excited, and it was such a neat thing for her. And, you know, the kids just have so much fun. And with Simpson, especially now that I'm involved in the 2-year program, I've got lower rent. My rent is low enough that, hey, I can afford this even on welfare, you know, which is what I'm on right now because I'm not working. I'm taking care of the family. But it's low enough that it's not a problem. With all the stuff that we've been through, you know, this last year of our life, it could really have a negative effect. And that's part of what I'm doing in taking care of the family, is getting us some therapy and getting myself some parenting skills. Well, and like I said too, I didn't have hardly any skills. I really, from my childhood, my dad was on Social Security in the 80s because he's mentally disabled. And he was so disabled that my mom had to take care of him. But then when Reagan cut off all the mentally disabled, Social Security, we lost our income and my mom had to go back to work. Well, that didn't automatically make my dad get better. So I didn't really have daycare, childcare. My dad slept most of the day, and I just kind of went around to different neighbors' houses and made myself peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch. And, you know, and I don't blame my parents. I don't. They did the best they could. My dad was not able, and my mother had to work, you know, and she just couldn't afford childcare. And I kind of look at it that I sort of raised myself, which is why I don't have the parenting skills that I need to raise my own children. And that's why I'm doing that, because, you know, they're the most important thing in the world to me. So, and I don't want them to grow up with a parent doing half a job, you know, especially with a single parent. I have to do twice the work, not half, you know, so. I'm bettering myself for them, and I think that's the most important thing in the world. And when I get to the point where I can make charitable contributions, this is definitely a place that is worth making a donation to.